All right. You didn't get me the third time, mute button. Welcome to episode number 3 today. Yes, we're a little off time, but that's life, you know. We just go with what God gives us. Who? Alien God Zitch. That's who. All right, so talking about aliens is what we do, right? We want to talk about everything. I found this interesting, and I'll show you in a moment, article that's talking about an alien language. Maybe, I don't know if you've seen it, but I'll pull it up. This thing. Yeah, we'll talk about this in a minute. Yeah, very interesting. I don't think they've been able to decipher it. I think it goes back to like 500 years. It's crazy, yeah, and then there's some other stuff. But I wanted to tell people something really quick, just before you settle in. I know you're just getting here. By the way, welcome to this evening's episode. Hello to everybody. Appreciate it. The one thing nobody ever says about the UFO culture is how complicated it is. And this comes from a tweet from someone who goes by Government Toys. And it continues. The people, the events, the agencies, the stories. It's legitimately difficult to follow and understand all the moving parts. Well said. I mean, because nobody realizes how difficult ufology really is. The whole paranormal genre is very, very difficult. And this is why I think, myself included, as many of you out there, have one belief when you start out and a different one as you move along. Because you'll find somebody or someone or some evidence that will convince you that, as an example, psychics are real. Let's say you meet somebody. It's never happened. I'm not saying it ever has. And they can automatically say, Rich Giordano, my name is, and how did they know me? This happened to you, that happened to you, when this happened to you, you this, and they know everything. That would change my belief. So if that happens along the way, like for me, I saw something move for the first time. And when I went ghost hunting, I got tugged on and I heard voices. That changes my perspective of what I used to know. And I always say, I don't believe it until it happens to me, until I see it. I'm not going to believe some video somebody posted on the internet just because they've never been caught COVID hoaxing. Capiche? So it's really difficult. There's so many different moving parts in ufology just by itself. You've got the government, you've got the people, you've got abductions, you've got sightings, you've got different types of sightings, people saying they're making contact with them, good, bad, and different. You got people who have implants, who have nightmares, who see them in their homes, out in their yards, out their window. UFOs in the water, in the sky, in the earth, on the moon, near the sun, near Saturn's rings. Who made Saturn's rings? Were they created by an alien? Are those really rings? Well, I think it's a structure. Oh my God, it just never ends. Hollowed Earth, hollowed Moon, hollowed Mars. I haven't even begun. That's how many moving parts there are. Then you've got the media, and you've got the entertainment industry, and you got people who were hoaxing, people who were lying. You got all these other things that are coming from one end that are all lies, charlatans, money makers, schemes, CGI bullcrap. And on the other end, you got people like, why don't they believe me? I'm really telling the truth, and they're honest, and they have real good evidence. And you don't think they would lie, and they've got people to back it up. And definitely good people being pushed aside or not wanting to go public because the ridicule that still comes with it. Let's not forget that. Regressive hypnosis. What do they call it? Regression? Hypnosis? Hypnotic regression. Those people. It's a list that's so never ending. It is very difficult for people who aren't in the field to understand what a person like myself and many of you out there who are in this for the research, for the truth. You just don't, you get mad if we change our mind. Like one day you believe, one day you don't. One day you do believe, next day you don't. How does that happen? Well, he had an experience, changed him forever. Things are going to happen, and I like to try to stay on top of it. And when we were doing the 2-3 hour shows, a lot of the stuff we would talk about that wasn't about joking around or making fun of this or that and the other thing. There was some serious stuff that was being overlooked, hence why we're doing this now. Again, changing, morphing, trying to survive, trying to get the information out the best I know how. With that being said, this is really bizarre, and let's talk about it because I have no idea. I had no idea that was around. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And that's what they're saying. I'm going to go off the article here real quick because this thing was radiocarbon dated back to the 15th century, right? It says University of Arizona researchers have cracked one of the puzzles surrounding what has been called the world's most mysterious manuscript, the Voynich manuscript, a book filled with drawings and writings nobody has been able to make sense of to this day. Like I said, radiocarbon dating, a team led by Greg Hodgins in the UA's Department of Physics has found the manuscript's parchment pages date back to the early 15th century, making the book a century older than scholars had previously thought. Oh, really? I was so smart. You got that wrong, didn't you? Oh, we were only off by what, 100 years? 100 years. Look where we've gone in 100 years. How do you not? This to me makes the Da Vinci Code look downright lackluster. Rows of text scrawled on visibly aged parchment, flowing around intricately drawn illustrations depicting plants, astronomical charts, and human figures bathing in perhaps the fountain of youth. At first glance, the Voynich manuscript appears to be not unlike any other antique work of writing and drawing. Is it an alien language? That's what some people think. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. What is piece of paper? Do we get to look inside? Yes, there's another thing I'll show you in a moment. A second, closer look reveals that nothing here is what it seems. Alien characters, some resembling Latin letters, others unlike anything used in any known language, are arranged into what appear to be words and sentences, except they don't resemble anything written or read by human beings. This was in a tweet by Michael Ian Black. He says, this book, I believe, is a very important piece to the puzzle regarding the ultra-terrestrial hypothesis. And he just highlighted what I quoted. Or read by human beings. This is being talked about again. It is interesting. I don't think I even talked about this. You know what I mean? So, Hodgins, an assistant research scientist and assistant professor in the UA's Department of Physics, with a joint appointment at the UA School of Anthropology, is fascinated with the manuscript. Is it a code? A cipher of some kind? People are doing statistical analysis of letter use and word use, the tools that have been used for code breaking, but they still haven't figured it out. I don't believe. A chemist and archaeologist, science by training, Hodgins worked for the NSF Arizona Accelerator Mass Spectrometry. Jesus H. You know, you see these words for the first time, and that's why I shouldn't be reading. Yes, Lee, you're right, I shouldn't be. Or AMS Laboratory, which is shared between physics and geosciences. His team was able to nail down the time when the Voynich manuscript was made. But that's it. So nobody knows. Is this an amazing find of, well, shall we say aliens? I do not know. And just because we haven't figured it out doesn't mean it's alien. But it doesn't follow any of the things that humans do. None of the historical writings match up. All the techniques they are using to find out what this is ain't working. Oh, look, here. Check this out. Was this it? Was that in it? Where'd the picture go? Oh, I had a picture of, oh, here's a sighting. We'll get back to that. Shh. Don't say anything. So it's interesting. You want to go back 500-600 years? God, wouldn't that be great? Just to go back in time. I wish there was time travel. Actually, what a great segue. Let's talk about time travel. Hey, look, forget about the book, all right? Nobody's going to know. That's it. What do you think? I know? I don't have an answer. Of course, it's just a book. And nobody can figure it out. I don't like it, all right? It bothers me because they should be able to figure it out. There's depictions of humanoidish looking people. All right, if we can go back in time, where would you go? Christ was born, died, or resurrected? Where would you go? I wouldn't trust that one. I think that might be a story. You know, like just a story. So where would you go? Would you go back to 1955 when your parents, at least mine were very young? Smack them around, say, what are you doing? Say, you need to be a millionaire. So when you have me, I don't gotta work, alright? Well, time travel has always been one of... What? Who said dinosaurs would be a great place to go? I'd love to go see the dinosaurs. Well, it's always fascinated people for many millennia. What would it be like if I could change? Like Superman saved Lois. He went around the earth super fast, reversed the rotation of the earth, saved Lois Lane from being crushed in an earthquake that opened up a road that her car just happened to be on. Can we go back and do that? I say we can't. But time travel, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it exists. And if it does, we might be looking at some people in the public eye who may have time traveled. Why not? Why can't it be real? If we can think it, it can become it. Do you understand? All right, take a look at this. Who is this guy? Dr. Dre? Remember these photos? Come on, that looks just like him. Yes, it does. Jay-Z, I mean. Dr. Dre. I'm a rocker. Give me a break. The photo on the left was taken in the Bronx in '33. The man in the photo looks insanely similar to Jay-Z. He's leaning on a railing and giving a signature stone look into the camera. Could it be just another coincidence? Could it be a relative that looked similar to Jay-Z since he grew up in Brooklyn? Or could this actually be Jay-Z? Guys, I'm one to say I have met a man who looks very similar to this in my life. So I say it is not Jay-Z. Okay. Here we go. Holy crap. Matthew McConaughey? McConaughey. Mahoo? Who? McConaughey? Are you kidding me? Look at that. I mean, even the hair goes the same way. You know, you could always tell. Even the nose, it's got that nose thing in the front. It comes down. You could always tell a lot about a person if they're duplicate by their ears. I wonder if twins. You know, twins have different fingerprints. I asked the Cousins brothers. Do you guys have different fingerprints? Yes, we do. Damn it. That's not fair, I thought. I thought it was a perfect match. Apparently, I'm wrong. I think it's cool that the only way you do have your own individuality as a twin. Look at this guy. Come on. Time traveling to the beach, this guy, and everybody's looking at him like, who the hell are you? Remember this? Photo taken in 1913 along the shoreline of San Jose, California. Seems pretty innocent until you take a closer look. Check out the man in the center of the photo. Looks like he's out of place and confused. No, he doesn't. It looks like Zach Bagans. It's Zach Bagans. And everyone aside for him seems to be dressed in their finest clothes. What makes this picture even more interesting is the man on the left, who seems to be wondering why the man in the center is present. Yeah, come on. How do you know he's not looking over like, hey, bud, can you move over just a little bit so my son can sit up here? Maybe he's wanting to ask him a question. Is the man in the center a time traveler, or was he just poorly dressed and being judged by his peers, or is the picture fake? You make your own call. Well, it looks real, and I would imagine there were shirts like that in the 13s. Aha! Here's Basaggio. I got a man-sized shoe. I went back to when there was, Lincoln's address, 1865. And I heard Abraham Lincoln deliver the Gettysburg Address. Basaggio. He claimed the jump from 72 to 63. What was that? 100 years? Well, if you go 63, right, and you go back 100 years, it would be, or you go forward, it would be 19. So you go backwards, it's 99 years. It's 109 years, I believe. Right? If you go from 1863 to 1963, that would be 100 years. Add 9 years, you got 72. It's 109 years. Come on. I just picked the guy who kind of had a haircut like everybody else did in the 70s. And, I just kind of photoshopped myself in the picture. They time travel. I was only 10. I was a 10-year-old boy. Amazing that they would even use how could they trust a 10-year-old boy? But I was extra smart, Rich. Bob, why are you acting like Basaggio? Because you're not being very friendly right now, Richard. Oh, thank you, Bobby. All right, let's take a look at a few more fake time travel photos. What? This one I never understood. This guy. Come on, man. I don't know. He looks rather unpleased, says this man, or a man with the mohawk. He looks confused. Is he upset with the fashion sense of the time, or perhaps with the people around him? Did anyone ask our possible time traveler any questions? It's uncertain. If you think the fashion sense from the 70s to the early 1900s was the same, you could be right or could be wrong, because this may be a little time traveler trying to show people from the early 1900s what punk looked like You know who that is? You looking at me? Huh? You looking at me? Huh? Are you looking at me? Huh? That's him. It's Robert De Niro. All right, let's look at one more, right? All right, next. I just don't understand time travel. It's weird. I got to admit, that wasn't bad. That was my first time trying that. What's his name again? I'm Nicolas Cage. I am the worst best actor. He is, don't we? He's not really a good actor, but people think he is. Isn't that funny? It's true. People think, just like, okay, Bill Murray. Bill Murray ain't that funny. Bill Murray is not that funny. Bill Murray is boring. He never did anything that was funny. I don't like Bill Murray. I think Bill Murray's the most... Oh, this is a UFO show, Rich. I'm sorry. All right, I will do one more because I got off on a Bill Murray. Forget this guy. I'm done with time travel. Anyway, wouldn't it be wild, though, if that is real alien writing? I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say. The link will be in the description once the show is ended, if it gets processed by YouTube. I saw my other 2 shows today are still processing. I think I'm being shadow banned. I don't know. What am I? Am I being shadow banned? Why won't my shows show up like they're supposed to 5 minutes after? Why do I gotta wait? It's not fair. That's the music. All right, we gotta go. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe later. I don't know. I'm in a mood now. Have a good night, you guys. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 2-hour show. Tomorrow night. See you then. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Unbelievable, right?